What's going on, everybody? Justin here with the Miles Matter, and yes, I changed my name. Originally, I had Miles over Matter. It's a name I still love, I really enjoy. Someone wants to use it, go for it. But I couldn't get it on YouTube and Instagram, and it would have drove me insane. It wasn't the end of the world, and I wouldn't have changed if I couldn't have found another name that I like. But I came across the Miles Matter, and I enjoy it. And in one sense, the miles don't fucking matter. As long as we're out there having fun and we're running and we're doing what we want to do, really the miles don't matter. But on the other side of that, where the miles do matter is that we should be enjoying what we're doing. If we're running to run and we hate it and we're miserable, why are we doing it in the first place? So I think it is important to have intention and purpose behind the things that you do. So yes, the miles don't really matter, but they do kind of matter. So that is the new name change. Thank you for bearing with me. The Instagram isn't fully up and running yet, but as time goes on and I find downtime in my work, life, school schedule, internship, I will start to kind of make things more cohesive. But for now, I'm going to roll with the name. I got it on Instagram and we'll take it from there. So today I am changing gears a bit. I will be reviewing the New Balance Fresh Foam More V3 Trail version because I signed up for a 100-mile ultra marathon, which I will make a separate video on that and that announcement and what I'll be running. So I went with this shoe because the More V3, the road version, was one of my all-time favorite shoes. It is one of the best, most comfortable recovery, easy day shoes. And I will say I did try the More V4 and I was super disappointed in it. And a lot of those reasons I'll get into on this shoe. And I thought that maybe I was just hoping things would have changed with the trail version, because one of my biggest pros about the shoe is the aesthetics. And when Believe in the Run did the running shoe event in Austin and I saw this shoe for the first time, I fell in love with it. I think it looks amazing. And I love the change up, just the big New Balance slapped on there. They're moving away from the logo, at least for this version. And I just thought it was different. The color schemes for a lot of the V3s is really awesome. And I just really fell in love with it, purely aesthetic wise. So I was hoping that the issues that I had on the V4 didn't carry over from here, but they did, and it's just a major bummer. So the biggest issue I have with this shoe, and that I had in the More V4, the road version, is the overall fit of the shoe. And you look at it, and it looks like a huge shoe, you know, a fat, wide shoe, something that for someone like me who has wide feet would be perfect. But it's deceiving because you go to put this on, and at least for me, it's actually like a little bit of a narrow fit, especially as you get into the midfoot in here. It's got more of a narrow fit. It wasn't an overall deal breaker. I think if that was the only issue, maybe I would have been okay with keeping this shoe in my rotation. Spoiler alert, I am not keeping this shoe in my rotation. But my main issue came with the heel cup. So the V3 Trail version, it has a synthetic mesh upper, it has a couple of overlays. Again, beautiful aesthetics, absolutely love it. But in the midfoot, going into the forefoot, everything kind of gets a little narrow here. Whereas the heel cup, the way I feel like the best way to explain it is the heel cup's a little wide. And even with a runner's loop trying to lock it down in here, it was like everything held my foot down pretty snug in here. But as I got to the heel, it was almost like a wide cup and my heel sat in there. And it just had too much wiggle room, even with the runner's loop. And that's the main issue I had with the road version. I thought about maybe going with a 9.5 wide, but I don't think that would change much. I think it would help my forefoot issue and my foot being a little crammed, but I don't think it would make things any better for the heel cup. So if I love this shoe enough that I really wanted it in my rotation, I would have tried the 9.5 wide, but I just wasn't crazy about it. And so for that reason, I didn't decide to keep it in my rotation. But if this shoe works for you and everything checks out, it still is a good shoe. The aesthetics, again, I keep saying aesthetics because if I had extra cash laying around, I would just keep this shoe because I love it, and I would just make this kind of a daily shoe just to wear around. But I don't got extra cash, and so I'm not keeping it, and I'll return it. Moving on to the midsole, you have the Fresh Foam X, and if you've never run in the Fresh Foam or any line of the Fresh Foam, this foam is super comfortable. So much so that I didn't even realize on my runs with this shoe, and I probably logged about 25, 30 miles, I didn't realize how mushy the shoe was. On the soft pack trails, it doesn't really shine through. And I thought really that might have been having more of like a thicker rubber with the Vibram rubber. But when I ran across the road on one of my runs, and I was on the road for like 20 seconds, it felt so mushy, the Fresh Foam X. Which I don't mind because if you're using the shoe, it's going to be a long run, easy day, recovery. I wouldn't use it for anything else. And I also wouldn't use this shoe on any technical runs. I actually almost broke my foot running over a lot of loose rocks. Yes, it could be the rocks, but how this heel flares out was really what kind of got me. It felt very sloppy. For the outsole, we have the Vibram Mega Grip. This is hands down the best rubber on the market. You have some nice, decent lugs in here. And I didn't have any issues with the grip. Obviously running on like dry surfaces or the dry trails. When I did come across some muddy sections, I was slipping and sliding. But to be fair, unless you have super crazy lugs, I think you would have slipped and slid in any shoe I wore. So the grip, not terrible, actually pretty good. The foam, if you're using this for what it's intended for, solid, super comfortable. But the big gripe I have with this shoe is just the overall upper and just being a really terrible lockdown. So would I recommend this shoe? I don't know. If it works for you and the heel cup isn't an issue, yes, I would recommend it. I think it's worth trying on. And I think right away, even doing like a little test run in a store, if you buy it at home and just run up and down the block, I think right away you'll know if that heel cup's going to work or not, and if this is going to be too narrow in the midfoot and forefoot. So that is my take on the New Balance Fresh Foam More V3 Trail version. I will continue to dive into the trail world and try and find the ideal right trail shoe. I will be running a more technical East Coast 100 miler. Please, if you have recommendations on a shoe that will go the distance that can also be technical and it's not super clunky like this guy, let me know. I ran my last 100 miler in the Speedgoat 4. I have my eyes on different shoes that I want to try, but I will continue to see what's out there, see what works for me, and I'll continue to make some shoe reviews along the way. So thank you, much love. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave it down below. And again, if you guys got a trail shoe that you swear by and love, please leave it here and maybe I'll check it out. Later.